Did Bitcoin just set a new bottom? Not so fast. I personally believe that this is going to be just due to volatility, and we will still see the 20,000s once again. This is because of the VIX index, which you can think of just like the fear index for crypto as the fear index for the stock market. For example, in 2008, the fear index virtually went through the roof, or the VIX, due to the financial crisis, and again in 2020 after the COVID-19 pandemic recession. And I know people are not going to like that I just said recession, but you can't argue the fact that it took more than 2 quarters to actually recover after that initial sell-off. But we'll leave that for another video. Now, obviously, price plummeted on July 19th, which if we look at the VIX index, we saw an immediate spike up on the index, indicating that the market was fearful. This is and was due to the Delta variant for COVID-19, as well as the China hacking Microsoft assumptions coming from the United States. Obviously, Bitcoin followed the same exact trend, but opposite for the VIX market, and is now recovering with the rest of the stock market, and may have been pushed up a little bit just because of the B-word event. But that's just for the short term. I do believe in Q4, we're going to see some major upward movement in this market, and that's going to come down to the US 10-year Treasury bonds. Now, I know you guys are panicky because there's some insane inflation rates, and you guys don't think there's any room for more economic growth, but there actually is. If we look at unemployment rates, you can expect it to actually be 5.6% by the end of this quarter, according to the Trade Economics global macro models. And on top of this, they're looking forward that we estimate to stay around 5.3 for the next 12 months and move down to 4.3 in 2020, which would still be higher than where we were at before COVID-19. Now, this is actually going to come back to the Fed's transitory inflation when it comes to US 10-year Treasury bonds. They're going to continue to keep interest rate lows as they want retail investors to actually start investing into growth stocks and other commodities and investments and help the economy grow. And you want to see what's crazy that's happening in Q4? Core Scientific is going public, which if you didn't know is the largest blockchain hosting provider in all of North America. And guess who they're merging with? Power Digital and Infrastructure Acquisition Corp. Now, I know none of you know who that is, but if you watched any of my previous videos, which I recommend you go do, I talk about ESG standards and BlackRock a ton, which is the largest asset manager in the entire world. Well, just like the Bitcoin Mining Council and how BlackRock backs many of the Bitcoin mining facilities, BlackRock is the anchor investor in XPDI. Just confirming for me that tons of money is going to flood into this market. On top of this, you have Tom Farley to actually merge with Bullish, which is a crypto exchange IPOing on the New York Stock Exchange, which I have previous videos on, but again, is backed by BlackRock. Then on top of all this, we have a cryptocurrency operator known as Circle going public with a $4.5 billion SPAC merger, which I believe is going to make them a key competitor to Tether. Because not only are they going to have to be transparent, but they're going to actually also be working closely with regulations. And they're expecting to close in the Q4. And while they're not invested into by BlackRock, they're invested into by Fidelity, which the largest shareholder is BlackRock. So with all this, clients see Bitcoin as more and more of an asset class. And that's coming from JP Morgan. More miners coming to North America. And all of these IPOs. Q4 is going to be very strong. For not just cryptos, but any growth stock and tech companies as well. Again, just my humble opinion.